Hello and welcome to day 4 of our JUNEwary Challenge 2025. A new pattern for us now. It's marked up forte first of all, so this is the loudest part of this piece of music. So we want to really put some oomph behind it. This is like the peak, the highest notes we play, and a different pattern from what we've been doing until now, so we want to have some real pow to it. I'll play it for you first. You'll feel possibly that it's like, gosh, what's going on there? But then if you listen, you'll see and hear the same pattern happening 4 times, twice in the same place and then twice in a different but same place to itself. So if we breathe with it and just go with it, we only have to learn one little 2-bar bit for this, and then we've actually nailed the whole thing. So the right hand is up on A, G, E and D, and my left hand is going to join straight in with the C and the A. I'll play it for you first though before I talk through any more. It goes like this. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. Okay, so there's our pattern. We have 4 notes in the right hand, lovely running, flowing little movement, and it's answered by 2 notes in the left. So between our hands we have 6, 1 and 2 and just everything happening on every subdivision of our beat. 1 and 2 and straight back onto the right hand on a C, and it's going to play, the right hand is going to play C, C, D. But we just have a little quaver adding into the rhythm with our left hand. C, G, C. And then as we do this D, coming back to that D chord, that home chord, so our left hand's going to go on the black F and thumb on the A. And it really enriches that feel there. We've had all this thinness where we haven't had any extra notes, just the melody. And then we land there and it's like, oh yes, that's really nice and rich. And then it does the same thing again. So we're straight back on A, G, E, D. And those are almost 4 notes in a row, but we've got a gap in the middle. And what we're doing is we're going either side of our black. So we're not touching our black or our red in that right hand, but we're going either side of it. So whilst it is a load of clear notes, how do I know where I am? You're just opening up around the black string and avoiding it. Left hand answering with a red C and an A. And then coming to that C with the right hand, and the left hand just goes down 1 to the G, and down 1 again to the black F, but then adding our A. Okay, so should we try that in some sort of time? We'll do it nice and steady for you to have a little think. Again, it can be really handy to kind of just sort of place this through. So we start there, then we're going to go there, and then we're there. And realising how the left hand's just plodding down a little bit each time. That finger 2. So the finger 2 of the left hand starts on an A, then it moves to a G, and then it moves to the black F. Okay, ready for this part? We're going to go yeah da 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 da. I'm going to try that speed. Okay, give those shoulders a little roll and let them drop away. Okay, here we go. I'll give you a full bars count just so you can breathe into it. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and okay. Let's try that again. In fact, we'll do the whole line because it just repeats that anyway. It's the same thing. So we'll do that whole line. So we were counting 1 and 2 and so that would be 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and okay. Don't be confused by me counting that now when I have been going 1 and 2 and 3. That's just me putting the 1 and together and then bringing in the third part of the subdivision. That makes sense? Just to give us our bouncy feel, because we didn't need to worry about the second note of that. But now we've got 1 and 2 and 1 and da, 2, da, 1. Okay, here we go. You could also go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, depending, so long as you allow that to become the long, short, long again in that second half. Don't overthink it. I am now. Here we go. Going to do the whole of this line. Ready? 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and. Okay, so you notice I only counted 2 beats before we came back in. It's because we've got that little 6/8 bar. So 6/8 has 2 dotted crotchets, 2 dotted quarter notes, or 6 quavers, 6/8 notes. So it's only half the size of our previous bars, which were 12/8. Okay, so it just allows this rhythm to come in a little bit sooner than if we just sat and waited for a whole 4 beats. So we just have 2 beats there. Now this pattern that we've just done, starting on the A, maybe find that again. If we then move it down, so you take your hands off but keep the shape, and put your thumb instead on a D. We're going to go D, C, A, G, and our left hand's going onto the black string, F and D. And it's doing the same grouping here as it moves down. Sounds totally different, but it's the same shape. And this time our right hand's going to come into the E and our left hand's going to go to the C. And then we just go up 1 to the D and the F. Okay, so it is a slightly different answering section, but the same feel as the other pattern. And certainly the same starting notes, the set of 6 coming down. So we have almost 4 in a row, but we've got a gap, and we've got black and D in the left. So we go D, C, A, G, F, D, and then our right hand's going to come down to the E, which is in the middle of the D and the F. Should we give that a try? I'll do it nice and steady. This is bar 17. Ready? 3 and 4 and 'kay, now that last chord, it's been written so that you can use both hands on it again, like we've used both hands on all the previous chords. Sometimes I think I find myself going and just playing both notes at the end there in the right hand. That's okay, but it does leave the left hand not doing anything. So it's quite nice to keep that left hand engaged, and it looks really good as well. And then we have that same answer. So the next bar. And it gets to that D and F just before we go into the next bar, which you can't yet see on your page, but it's the same tie that you've just had from 17 into 18. It's the same as that there. Okay, let's try putting that all together, and then you can join me on the play along to do that as well. So first of all, we'll go from 17 and do that section. That's the newest section. D, C, A, G, and F and D in the left. Okay, so we'll just do these few bars first. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and then that will count on. Okay, good. And as I was counting that 1 and 2 and building us into the next bar, my hands were going to get ready on what was needed again. Okay, we'll go back to bar 13 now and put all of today's part together. Here we go. Okay, so starting at 13, we've got the A, G, E, D in the right, C and A in the left. We're nice and loud as well. We stay loud through this whole line, into the next line, and then just drop it down as we come out of the end of that line there. Okay, here we go. Bar 13, 3, oh, hang on a sec. Let's do a roll. Let them come away from your ears. I know you're thinking very hard about all this. Okay, bar 13. 3 and 4 and 1, 2 and next part and 1, 2 and okay, good job. All right, join me on the play along and we'll do some different speeds. We'll do some with counting and just give you some real support to the flow of that. But well done. Don't overthink, don't panic. Just recognise actually the shapes are there and it just flows if you let it. Well done. I'll see you on the play along.